the French Air Force are bombing the army of Benin in their military base. They say that the coup that was mounted overnight and was revealed to the world this morning by a group of junior officers is over. It's finished, except we haven't been allowed to see their puppet president if he's safe and still in control, and the leader of the junior officers is broadcasting constantly on YouTube. And if it's over, why are the French still bombing it? Even worse, Macron phoned his boyfriend, Tinubu, the former drug dealer in the United States, now the octogenarian stooge of France in Nigeria, and told him to start bombing his neighbor too. And he did it. More than that, he's mobilizing the Nigerian army to invade his neighbor Benin. That's the Nigerian army that cannot protect the Nigerian people from the Boko Haram terrorists. That's the Nigerian army which has lost control of much of its own country's territory to a group of ISIS-inspired fanatics, Christians, Muslims, being slaughtered every day by Boko Haram. But where is the Nigerian army? It's bombing and about to invade Benin. Now, I don't know anything about the junior officers that mounted the coup, but everything I've learned in the last 12 hours, 18 hours, tells me they've got a point. Any president that requires the bombardment of foreign air forces of his own capital has already lost.
All right, welcome back again to the African Streamlines Roundtable. Thanks for coming. Thanks for always being here. Now, still under Benin. Now, let's talk about something that we've seen happening, something that isn't making any sense, and people are asking themselves a lot of questions because we have realized that France or French government has been trying to bomb Benin during this time of military coup that was taking place in Benin. And everybody has been asking, why is it that France is trying to get into the matter that doesn't concern them at all, that isn't theirs? You know, France or French government allowing or sending the military to come and start bombing Benin is something that is very much unacceptable, because Benin, I don't recall, or nobody recalls, or it has never been written anywhere that the French government is part of Benin, or the French government is his brother, or his another arm is Benin. So these people are they're miles away. They're like, the distance between Benin and France is very, very huge. It's very long. And you see that French getting or coming into this matter, it is something that really doesn't add up at all. And these are the things we're supposed to be talking about. You see, we have been saying and been addressing the issue of the Western governments or the Western countries coming into Africa, or the Western governments or the Western countries, let's say, associating themselves or attaching themselves to African countries. And I want to answer a certain comment. I read a certain comment. I did a video someday, and I said that, you know, there was some chaos in Africa, and I said in Africa where youths were trying to fight the government, and I said all this is because of the Western influence in African countries. And somebody came in the comment section and said, what does the West has to do with the demonstrations or chaos that are happening in Africa? And he told me that you should learn, like you should go, and I don't know what this person said, but what I remember, he was trying to say that what does the West has to do with the chaos and demonstrations in Africa? And I just told this guy, because he also told me I don't know to go and read or to go and learn or something and get more knowledge. And I told him, when you talk about the colonized mind, we are talking about the minds like the one you're carrying right now. Because do you know the people still believe that Western countries have nothing to do with African countries? There are people who still believe that if there is something or if there is a problem that is happening in Africa, it's because of the irresponsibility and incompetence of just African leaders. And it can be one, the incompetence or irresponsibility of the African leaders. But again, you need to look into the bigger picture and ask yourself, how did we got here? We can be talking about irresponsibility, yes. I'm not denying that fact. But ask yourself, how did we get here? How comes every African leader, when they rise to power, a time will come when they will fall out? Or a time will come when they will set back and begin, number one, disrespecting people, begin oppressing people, begin frustrating the same people who chose them. Why? It's because of the influence of the Western government. If you see people demonstrating in Africa and chaos in Africa, people fighting the government, it's because, number one, the government is irresponsible and the government is incompetent. The reason for the government to be irresponsible and incompetent, high chances, and many a times, it's because of the Western influence. Because a president is not ready to work for the people because the Western governments or the Western or the white man's supremacy does not give him or her an opportunity or a space for them to work for the people. Because if they work for the people and if they work for their country, it means the country is going to grow. Okay? But now, one thing that the West wants is for Africa to remain poor and remain the same for the rest of its life, for the rest of her life. It should never grow. It should never advance. It should never develop. That is the intention of the West towards Africa. Why? Because, number one, I told you this, I'm going to repeat it. It is easy for you to manipulate somebody who is poor than to manipulate somebody who is rich. It is easy for you to manipulate somebody who is at a lower level compared to you, but very difficult for you to manipulate somebody with whom you are at the same level. You are at par, the both of you. And so, West knows one thing. For us to be able to continue manipulating Africa and making Africa be our servants for the rest of our life is when we make her poor. So they're trying as much as possible to make Africa poor through all means possible, through using our own leaders, through using every weapon they can use, and many a times it's through the puppets, the leaders we are having. William Ruto, Samia Suluhu Hassan, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Alassane Ouattara, like many of them, like all of these leaders, using them to make sure Africa remains at a poverty state so that they can continue invading in Africa. So what they do, they play games with us. They play tricks with our minds. What do? What they do is that they will come and make sure you don't get to grow, and then they develop their countries to become first world countries. And then your African country is called the third world country. Okay? And then when generations keeps on rising, all their eyes are to America. All their eyes are set to France. All their eyes are set to Germany, Belgium, all those countries. All their eyes are set to where? The UK. They don't get to look around. They don't get to look or focus on their countries, because you can't focus on a country that is poor. So even in school, we are taught about the poverty of Africa, and we are taught about the wealth of the United States of America. We are taught about the wealth of the Western countries. We are not told and taught about the production in Africa, about the mining in Africa. We are not told about Africa becoming the number one continent that exports everything in the whole world. We are not told about that. We are told about our our downfalls, and our drawbacks. That's what we're told about. So we grow up knowing we can't help ourselves. The only people who can help ourselves are those people from outside there. And we grow up knowing when we grow up, we want to go to America. We want to live in America. We don't want to live in Africa because Africa is poor. That is how we are taught. That is what they want. And it was a secret weapon. It was a weapon of destruction, trying to play with your minds and making you believe in something that is not there. That is what America does. That is what America has been doing all the times, even to the black people, even to the white Americans. White Americans are being told they are living the American dream. But they are suffering in America. They are not allowed to complain because how those things are explained to them, it makes them believe we are living the American dream. Are you getting my point? And now, Africans in Africa and black people at large, we have been brainwashed. They have tempered with our minds to think they are better than us. Okay? And so by so doing that, they come to our countries. And when they're in our countries, we won't chase them away. We will receive them because when we look at them, we see helpers coming. And so it will be very easy for us to receive them and say, welcome. So they come in, they do whatever they want to do. So they pretend it's like they're helping us, but the truth is that they are not helping us. They're actually harvesting from us. They're actually taking from us what does not belong to them. They're taking from a black person what belongs to a black person. But they put it in a way that when you look at it, we think they're the ones helping us. Okay? And that is why if we ask them to leave, they cannot leave. Why? Because they're the one benefiting, not us. Because if at all we are the one benefiting, then it needs to be very easy for them to leave. We just have to say, come on, you guys need to go, and they go. We just have to say, you people need to leave, and they leave, without asking questions. Because why should they ask questions? Yet they're the ones helping us. You see, if you are helping me and I say, I don't need your help, you need to go away with your help. You don't have to force help in me, right? That's why in Burkina Faso, Traore told them, go. And instead of going, they started fighting back. Why are you fighting back? If at all you're the one helping me, why are you fighting back? All right? Why are you fighting back? If at all you are the one helping me, you should not be fighting back. You will leave without even asking questions because you were giving me help. The help was coming to me and I said, I don't need your help. Why should you force help in me if you're the one helping me? It means you are not the one helping me. You're the one getting help from me. And that is why you can't leave, because if you leave, you're going to miss this help. You're going to miss this benefit. So when they come to Africa, they don't come to Africa to help. They are coming to Africa to harvest. They are coming to Africa to take, to steal what belongs to a black person in Africa. Okay? But they put it look like they are helping us. And so they are working with the presidents, the puppets, the presidents who promised us they are going to help us. So they are working with them. When they are working with them, it becomes very easy for them to do what? To steal. Okay? That's the reason as to why the French government is bombing Benin military. Why? Because they do not want the president to be taken out of power. Because if the president gets out of power, the military that has taken over will stand against the president. The military that has taken over will not work with French. They will not adhere to the rules of the French government. They will not listen to the French government's instructions. They will do things the way they're supposed to be doing things. They will start working for the people. They will cut all ties with the French government. They will tell French government, you've been here for a very long time. You have not been helping us. Instead, you've been stealing from us. It's your time for you to go. I'm telling you that for a fact. And that is why the French military cannot allow anything or something like this to happen. So the French government is intruding into matters that does not concern them. But again, the French government is intruding into matters that concerns them as far as the action of stealing from Benin is concerned. So it automatically becomes their matter, and they have to be part of this matter. Are you getting my point? Now, that is the reason as to why Benin is being bombed by the French government. Some of us will be asking ourselves, why is the French government bombing Benin? Because the French government is not part of Benin. They are not members of Benin. It is not one country. These are two different countries from two different continents. But these people, what they are doing, they are trying to secure. They are trying to secure the minerals of Benin. They are trying to secure the food of Benin. They are trying to secure all the exports, all the things they are exporting to their countries from Benin. They are trying to secure, to secure all the wealth that is coming from Benin. So they would rather help the president to fight Benin than allowing Benin military to take power. Because the president is irresponsible, the president is becoming very much incompetent, people are tired, and they feel like, we can't continue working with this kind of a man. This man needs to leave. And so they come out and plot a coup. And then the French government feels like, no, we can't do this no more. We have to wake up and help the president to fight. They don't even care if they're killing people in Benin by bombing the country. They don't even care if they're destroying properties. They don't care. What they care about is their way of stealing. How will they continue stealing from Benin? It is very disguising when an outside country gets into the matter that doesn't belong to them, into the matter that has nothing to do with them, and start misbehaving around. Do you even consider about the people of Benin? Do you care about the people of Benin? Or you're just doing it because of your selfish gains? Emmanuel Macron needs to style up. He should stop behaving like somebody who doesn't have brains, like somebody who never went to school. He shouldn't be behaving like the devil himself. When you're bombing this country, you're killing children, you're killing mothers, you're killing women. Stop doing that. Stop plotting terrorists. This is the same thing that has been happening to Burkina Faso. Terrorists are being paid to go and fight Burkina Faso and cause war in Burkina Faso to make it difficult for Captain Ibrahim Traore to lead the country. You're pushing Captain Traore to surrender by making his life difficult. I mean, which nonsense is that? These countries need to change. These Western countries should step out of Africa, and we have to fight them to the end. We have to fight them to the core. We have to push them. We have to fight them and fight them and fight them. We can't let them win, because if they keep on doing the same thing, the problem is coming to Africa. And we do not want this problem to continue. Africa has gotten to a point where it is rising. And all these countries know that the next superpower is Africa. The next superpower is Africa. And they cannot allow that to ever happen. Why? Because they know very well if Africa becomes superpower, they will really suffer. Why? These Western countries, they are superpower without resources, without minerals, without fertile soils, without anything. Tell me, if Africa becomes superpower with all these things, the empire will never fall. And they're very much afraid of that. So Emmanuel Macron, what he's trying to do, he is trying to cause chaos in Benin. That's just the same way he used to cause chaos in Burkina Faso, though Captain Traore was very, very much brilliant, vigilant, and he stood firm, and he did not allow anything like that to happen, like to bring him down. You see? So the French government has lost almost all West African countries, and the French government is now going down. The French government is falling, and the French government really knows that they are falling. That is why they are trying to retaliate. They are fighting back. You see, they are bombing the country, and it is something that doesn't even make any sense. Been trying to look into this whole matter, and I'm like, oh my God, this is just something that I can't even believe. You see? So Western countries can't live without African countries. They know if they get out of African countries, they're going to die. That is why even in France, we've seen recently how people have been demonstrating and trying to ban the government premises and asking Emmanuel Macron out of government. That is how the empire becomes goes down. You see? And The reason as to, because they are losing these African countries, they feel like we will suffer. So that is the reason as to why French government is bombing Benin, something that is very much unacceptable. So Africa is powerful and Africa is great. You know, Africa is the country and the continent that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to be part of it. And if you see yourself being taken out, then they become very much afraid of that. You know? So Emmanuel Macron needs to stop. If you can't win them, just go. Stop the things of you can't win and join them. Stop doing that, because you are misusing, like you are really mistreating people. We are the ones suffering in Africa. We are the ones crying in Africa. Why should you keep on doing the same things you've been doing over time? You know very well that you're oppressing a black person. You're oppressing Africans in their own countries. You know that very well. But you keep on wanting to do it every other time. Why? Why? Because it would be you. You'd still be not happy. Okay? So you have to stop it. It has to stop. And black people have to unite, come together, and fight these oppressive governments and take them out and away from us. Tell me what you think in the comment section. It is my opinion. I'll do my best to make sure I read all of them and give a response where possible. I am the African Streamlines Roundtable. And thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing to my video. I will really do appreciate. Welcome back again to the African Streamlines Roundtable. Until that episode, peace be with you.